Do you ever come across a photo online and you're like, what is that style? I love it. How do I accomplish it? But you cannot figure out what that style is called. Well, don't worry, because in today's video, I am explaining all of the trending interior design styles so you know exactly what to do and exactly what to look for. Before we get into today's video though, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check me out on Instagram. And I do want to say a huge thank you to Wayfair for sponsoring today's video. We've got a new episode of Interior Motives out, and I'll tell you all about that later on. Let's get into today's video. Now today we're going to start with the contemporary design style because it is the design style that people are most confused about. How many times have you typed into Google, what's the difference between contemporary and modern? Well, the reason being that all of these stores have tricked you. They lied to you because modern just made sense, even though it's not the right term. So a contemporary design is actually a design style most of you aspire to have. Contemporary is what we call modern. Contemporary really means, though, the design style that is popular right now. So when you think about the black, white, and gold interiors with the clean lines and the fluffy couches and the task lighting, that is actually what contemporary means, not modern. Not modern. That's actually what contemporary means for a lot of us. Now, with that being said, contemporary design actually changes because contemporary relates to what's popular right now. So what's popular right now is the black, white, and gold, but it's starting to look like what's contemporary is the travertine, the brown interiors, the curvy sofas. So contemporary actually is an always evolving design style. It's not something that's set in stone. So when you look up contemporary, that's actually what you're looking up, what's popular right now. But you probably are using the term modern, which is totally fine because at this point, a lot of stores don't even use the term contemporary, they use modern. So since they're doing it, you can do it too, but I just wanted to clear that up once and for all. The next very popular interior design style is mid-century modern. So mid-century modern became really popular in the 50s and 60s. That makes a lot of sense because it's called mid-century, right? Mid-century. So that really makes sense, the 50s and 60s. So mid-century modern design is the design style that you see a lot in consignment shops, and in New York City in the Big Apple, people love mid-century modern design. So if this is a design style that you're like, I think I could dabble in, let me tell you more about it. In mid-century modern design, you will see a lot of furniture that has function. There is no piece of furniture that exists just to exist because they're like, that's stupid. We don't like that, which is totally fine. Functionality comes first. In mid-century modern design, you will see a lot of clean lines, and the curvature that you will see, you will probably see that in art. You won't really see that in the furniture pieces. Maybe a curve in the side of the chair, but that's it, right? We don't want to move too far outside of the box, or at least that's how mid-century modern people feel. In terms of color, like I said, you see a lot of the light wood tones, but you also see a lot of beige, navy blues, mustards, and colors like that. All of the colors are very, very robust, but at the same time, they're kind of muted because the wood really steals the show in mid-century modern design. You also see a lot of low pile rugs and not a ton of texture besides that from the wood. I keep bringing up wood because wood is paramount to mid-century modern design. In mid-century modern, you don't see a ton of pattern, and the patterns that you do see, you see kind of like polka dots, but they're asymmetrical polka dots, and then you see a lot of shape-based art. So you'll see a lot of triangles and squares and circles and ovals, but everything has a very defined shape. Things aren't very abstract in the mid-century modern. So mid-century modern is truly a timeless design style. So if you want something timeless and not something that you have to upgrade all of the time, mid-century modern is actually really the way to go. If you love the mid-century modern design style or any of the styles I talk about in today's video and you want to figure out how to mix and match some of them, you need to check out the latest episode of Interior Motives. And Interior Motives can actually be found over on the Wayfair YouTube channel. Now, if you don't know what Wayfair is, Wayfair has all of the best furniture in the world. I am a huge Wayfair fan. I talk about them all of the time, but they also have a YouTube channel where they have tons of interior design based shows. Interior Motives is actually one of their new shows, and I am the host. And in this most recent episode, we not only talk about how to combine two design styles, being mid-century modern and traditional design, but we also talk about how to move in with a partner for the very first time. So not only am I going to teach you some design lessons, but also some relationship lessons. And I think they're all very valuable. Now, if you want to go check this out, you have to head over to the Wayfair YouTube channel and subscribe, and then watch the entire season of Interior Motives. I'm going to leave a link down in the description box, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Now, Interior Motives isn't the only show on the Wayfair YouTube channel though. Of course, you could check out the entire season, but you should also check out other great shows like A Style Is Born. Now, let's talk about some other popular interior design styles. Now, the interior design style that has taken the world by storm, and the one that you're probably watching this video for, is modern organic design. So modern organic design is a combination of modern or contemporary and organic. So by organic, that means a connection to the outdoors, organic textures, shapes, colors, and things like that. So when you think modern organic, you think a lot of white, beige, brown, real earth tones. You also have some green, some burnt orange, a little bit of burgundy, but predominantly just the earth tones that I mentioned before. Modern organic is all about having imperfections. So that's why we'll stick to things like linen and raffia and jute. We want things that are very fibrous, that are very earthy, and they feel like you just kind of brought them outside and added them in as furniture. So modern organic has really taken over the internet, and the best way to implement it is to stick to those colors, have a lot of that texture I discussed, and when it comes to art, you also want to have a lot of texture in those earth tones. Modern organic design isn't about introducing a ton of colors or anything like that. It's actually a very simple design style that's actually very intentionally put together, honestly, in my opinion, because it's all about looking imperfect, but in a very balanced way. Other things you can incorporate into this design style would be paper lanterns or lamps with pleated shades. You can also look for baskets on walls or something like that. You just want everything to have a lot of curve to it, a lot of texture, and you want the space to feel lived in. If I had to really characterize this design style, I'd probably say, again, you're taking those contemporary elements, being those clean lines, but you're also really looking to the modern traditional and those organic elements that we saw modern traditional really make popular, and combining them in a space. But it isn't a design style where you're going to overload things with furniture. You're only going to have the pieces of furniture that you need, and you're going to have, you know, some decorative accents, but not too many. Now I want to talk about Danish pastel design, because this design style has taken over TikTok. Now this design style came to the forefront in 2022 thanks to TikTok, and you might be thinking like a teenage schoolgirl. And yes, that is true. That's kind of where this design style started, but I think it's actually going to be really, really huge this year, and you'll see this all in my 2023 design trends video, but it is going to be huge in 2023 because I think it applies to everyone no matter what age you are. So to really characterize Danish pastel design, think about Scandinavian design. So clean lines, everything exists for a reason, very simplistic, very minimal, and like to the point. So function over everything, but we're adding pastel colors instead of the dark, dreary colors that you normally see in Scandinavian design. The reason why Danish pastel design is worth talking about is because it's something you can do very affordably. And the design styles that are affordable always become really, 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 really popular, because you can get most of the base furniture pieces from IKEA, because obviously they specialize in Scandinavian furniture, and then you can get the knickknacks and the art and all of that everywhere else. So the way to really master Danish pastel design is, again, to look to the Scandinavian when it comes to form, and then also to add pastel colors. So pastel pink, green, orange, yellow, even some blues, not so much on the blues, but we want to add those pastels. You want everything, think like Candyland. You're like, what? So have you ever played the game Candyland? All of the bright colors there and like the gumdrops and the jewels, that is honestly like the vibe that Danish pastel gives. The best way I think to accomplish it is to take your contemporary shapes, you know, your curved sofas, your really weird furniture pieces, or even your more simple furniture pieces, and then add pastels on top. Danish pastel design also has to do with a lot of layering. So sure, you might have an all white sofa, but you'll have different patterns or different color pastel pillows on that sofa to really bring it to life. Nothing is truly boring when it comes to the Danish pastel design, but everything does have a place, and it is actually very beautifully and intentionally arranged. Now, another thing I really love about this design style is it's very sustainable, because it does incorporate a lot of vintage elements. So you can go to your thrift store, your consignment shop, your Craigslist, your side of the road, and get furniture pieces that will work with this design style, and you won't have to upcycle them or anything. Something else you also see a lot in this design style are gallery walls, actually repurposing of kids' toys. And you're like, what? But yes, taking kids' toys like Legos or Lincoln Logs or really anything and turning them into furniture or turning them into art pieces. You always get like the weirdest things and incorporate them into your design. A designer who actually has really, really, really hit the nail on the head with this design style is Dani Cleric. I'll put her TikTok down below, and you can actually look at her with how to accomplish this. But I think this is a design style a lot of you are going to love, especially those of you who really love color. The next design style that I want to break down is Wabi Sabi. So a lot of people can conflate Wabi Sabi and modern organic. Modern organic is like Wabi Sabi, but it's a little bit more warm. Wabi Sabi is a little bit more dark and dreary, and it also actually has to do with philosophy. So Wabi Sabi is actually derived from Japan, and it's about celebrating and embracing the imperfection. So not only is it a design style, but it is also a way of life. Now, you don't have to live that way of life to embrace the design style, but I think there is merit in doing that, kind of to be true to the style itself. But Wabi Sabi, it really does remind me of the Scandinavian meets the modern organic, because you do have a lot of cool tones. It's very rustic, it's very overwhelming. It kind of feels like you're outside, but you're still indoors. You're going to see a lot of exposed, unfinished wood. You're going to see linen, you're going to see jute. There's not a lot of high profile furniture. Actually, things are very low to the ground, and you're repurposing things from the outdoors indoors. It really is as simple as that. So all of the same fibers that we talked about from the modern organic, we're going to incorporate here. I will also say that in the Wabi Sabi, things are very much so oversized. We have larger pieces making a statement instead of little vases and, you know, tchotchkes trying to craft a vignette. Each piece can really hold its own in the Wabi Sabi design, which can make it a little bit more affordable. But since the pieces are so rustic, it can get quite expensive, just because getting an entire log, it's costly because you got to get it inside. But Wabi Sabi is a design style that became really, really popular. I mean, it's been popular forever, but you've seen a resurgence of it in the past few years, and I really don't think it is going anywhere. But it is one of those design styles where it's about embracing the imperfections, so it does take a while to craft the perfect Wabi Sabi space. It's not about saying, oh, I see this at a store and this is earthy enough. It's about slow living and slowly finding the things that make your house feel like a home. But remember, low profile, darker colors, organic pieces. It's not about matching wood tones or anything like that. It's about really connecting with nature. First step that most people make when trying to accomplish Wabi Sabi is starting with that lime wash paint and that plaster. That is going to be the place to start, and then you can really build upon that when it comes to Wabi Sabi design. Okay, you guys, that is it for today's video. That was an interior design style breakdown. I broke down all of the popular design styles from 2022 and 2023, so you know exactly how to achieve them, and you no longer have to waste tons and tons of hours looking on Google where you could not actually find the answers. If you like today's video, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check me out on Instagram. And remember, please go check out Interior Motives. It would mean the world to me. It was my first time hosting a show, and it is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm leaving a link down in the description box so you can go and subscribe to the Wayfair YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of their phenomenal series, and so that you can also watch Interior Motives. Until next time, have a beautiful day.